my boys make major moves. Still the same ones that I came with. Up in a payment, told you we nothing to play with. Guess some things unchangeable. Me and my thirst insatiable. Till we all big time. Face on my rollie on big time. Face on my goals, that's a big climb. Still my flow is unshakable. Run it up, I cannot quit it. I need it, I ain't where I wanna be, I can admit it. Never submitting, I'm fighting my darkest of thoughts. I am a force. I harbor the light that's inside of my heart. I write in my art and give you my story. You the witness. I came on a mission to give you my pain and give you my glory. All this time, I'm on the grind. Oh, I'm shining. Nothing can stop me. All these years, blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm still here. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. It's gonna be a riot, that means quiet. I got the can of gas, I'm about to ignite. I am driven, I won't ever get tired, cause I've been left behind, I have to get right. Waiting on the sign, now I just wait on myself. Got nothing weighing on the mind. One thing I learned after all this time, the mountain you carry meant for you to climb. All this time, I'm on the grind. Oh, I'm shining, nothing can stop me. All these years, blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm still here. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me.
Yes, agreed. I'm gonna see if Russell will pay us like a little bit early so we can get jerseys in.
Yeah.
Cause I'm still waiting for my payment to come
I'll
through
on stream
from some stupid fucking schools. Well, here we are once again, the Nürburgring at Nordschleife, and if it wasn't crunch time last time around, it's definitely starting to get there. No more dragging the feet. It is go time here in Formula Dream. I'm Kyle Tupper. Right next to me is Noah Nadu here, happy to bring you this production of Formula Dream here. So it's the German Grand Prix, one of the most famous racetracks of all time. Noah, opening remarks?
It's gonna be a fun one today. It's gonna be it's gonna feel short. There's not gonna be too many laps today. How many we end up doing? 5, 6?
5 laps, yep.
Yep. So long track though, very technical. So we're gonna really see who's the best drivers out here today.
Yeah, it's a great proving ground for drivers here at the Nordschleife. You know, as we say, it's a 5-lap race. You get 5 chances on every single corner. There's no time to settle in. It's going to throw something new at you every single time you would step out onto the racetrack. So, good conditions here today. Slight cloud cover, but beautiful fall leaves here in the Eifel region of Germany. Going to be an exciting race here, and the standings also very exciting. We mentioned Noah Nadu dominance may be ruining the sport. Let's take a quick look at how that is going down so far. So up at the top is Noah Nadu. As we mentioned, he's got 602 points. The closest racer to him is Keelan Wynn on 539. And then behind him is James Brown, also in the Central United, 532 points. And then Coral on 523 in 4th. Marcelo Mars is 5th. And Felice Ziviello, 5th and 6th. They both had a bit of a fall from grace. 493 and 485, respectively there. Alex Martin in 7th, also down a few positions. Hayden Segovas, though, on the rise with 472 in 8th. Then it's Bot Brook, who's hung around in the top 10 all year, but hasn't really been able to crack that top spot and really fight for the title. We'll see if she flips it into gear today. 448 points for her. And then Timothy Matthew hanging on to that 10th place spot. The best IEC driver and one of the best rookies so far this season. In fact, I think the best rookie in the league this year. 423.5 points for him down in 10th. So, no, things have shaken up quite a bit. It was Marcelo Mars that we thought was going to win for a while. It was Felicia Ziviello that looked a little bit dominant for a while. You think it's going to stay Noah Nadu, or you think there's still another fold coming up in this story?
I think there's still going to be another fold, especially with how this season's been going. But Central United's got to be happy having 2 drivers right now in that top 3.
Yeah, Central United's got to be thrilled. They're sitting on top of the standings in Formula Dream for basically the first time of their history. As we've got an interesting comment here, Noah, in the Formula Dream general chat in Discord. We were talking about this a little bit before the season. Michal Litwinski no longer around in the Central United Discord, unfortunately. Carlos says he wants to be the CEO of his team, so he could see new ownership over at IEC. That would make things really interesting, don't you think?
And it looks like they would be changing their name, too. So that would be interesting. It'd be good to see. I mean...
Yeah, Sauber Carlos would be a great name.
I think so. I think it really would, you know?
It really would. It's definitely fun, the off-season that we've had in Formula Dream before. Now that more people are in the Discord being active and more people are interested in it, it's a lot of fun to see the involvement that happens. Definitely having active people like Carlos around would be great for the sport of Formula Dream as a whole. So, wouldn't be opposed to that idea. I like it. I like it quite a bit. But anyway, back to the task at hand. We are getting very close to the end of the season here in Formula Dream. As we said, if it's not time to put the foot on the gas yet for you, then you might be out of hope at this point, as there are lots of drivers that are going to have to be fighting for their hides here, especially those in the bottom half of the standings. They really need to find a way to flip the switch if they want to have any chance at some glory here in Formula Dream. And then up in the top 10, we mentioned, still a lot of parity, but Noah Nadu has a bit of a gap established, and this race is kind of, as I've always said, this is the deciding race, I think. Because the last 3 races or so, you know who the title contenders are, usually. If you're not in that title conversation after this one, yeah, it's basically over for you.
What's our team standings looking like?
I will take you through the team standings. I was actually on my way to do that, and then I got distracted by old Carlos in there. But anyway, Central United leads, as we talked about very recently. They were probably happy about where they're standing right now. 1498 is their overall point tally. And then Shrevehart has burst onto the scene lately. 1347 is their total. Keelan Wynn and Alex Martin high up in the standings for them. And then Mallory Fonte had a big win last week out at the Hockenheim ring. So Shrevehart in second. Precum Racing in third. They've fallen down one spot. They've still managed to hold on to that ledge. We'll see if they can move up. They could still take the lead today with a 200-point showing if they can go 1-2, and still anybody's game in that top 3. Inter-Europol competition down a little bit compared to the top 3. 1193 is their point total. They passed Rocket Racing last week, who's down to 1185 in 5th place. Then it's Milf Mommy Motors with 1100 points in 6th. Carpini, the first team in 3 digits as opposed to 4 with 719. And then Blue Balls are actually mounting a charge on them. 714 is their total right now. If they could get up into 7th, that would be actually a huge victory for them, wouldn't it, Noah?
Yeah, but that bottom 3 is all equally just bad.
Yeah, they're not very quick.
They're all. Any of them can move up. Like Area could even move up 3 spots to 7th if they have a good showing today. It's just they're all pretty bad. Yeah,
that's the toilet bowl down there, unfortunately. As Area is in last, as you mentioned, 697.5 is their total. But yeah, only like 20-ish points separating those bottom 3. So it's a battle for big slide there in qualifying. That's Juno Maximovic. There's a bit of a jump there. It's kind of hard to control the car through that. So definitely something to keep an eye on, I will add. As David Lakers had the same mistake. You see the tire tracks there. They go over that jump pretty aggressively, and you're taking a left-handed bend as well when you go over that little hop. So you got to be very careful going up over that. It should just be one lap for everybody. That is true. Mallory Fonte, I think, had a problem early in the lap as well. She's not going to be able to put in a time. James Brown as well. He's not going to be happy about that either. Some kind of problem for him. But he's not going to get a lap put in, as we've got a couple cars finally starting their actual qualifying laps here. We're taking a look now at Keelan Wynn, who has been doing pretty well in the standings as of late. He's been climbing on up. He's up in second now, and has a chance to move up to first. He wasn't first for a brief moment in time after a big race win, but now obviously had his position taken away by Noah Nadu. So keep an eye on who's good in qualifying here. We'll have plenty of time to scope things out. It's about a 6.5 minute lap around the Nordschleife here. As we mentioned, we'll only be doing 5 when the actual race comes around. But who are you keeping an eye on, Noah? Not just in qualifying, but just with the standings. Who do you think has a chance to mount a charge here?
Well, team-wise, you got to keep an eye on Central United. Their pace this year, especially in qualifying, has been just insane how they'd be able to turn it around. Keep an eye on today. You want to keep an eye on that top 3. And really top 5, just to see where they separate themselves out. Because after, like you said, after this race, that top 3 in the championship contenders really just start separating out, and you know who's going to be in that title fight.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, the top 5 separated by over 100 points actually right now, which we hadn't had before. As we said, still anybody's game, but you know, if you're in that top 5, this is the only race where you still feel like you control your destiny if you're in, 4th or 5th. After this, you have to start hoping that other people finish poorly. So that's never what you want to be doing. You never want to be relying on other people to not finish well. You want to be able to kind of control things yourself. So still a chance for Marcelo, Mars, and Coral. I'd say the real title fight right now is Brown, Wynn, and Nadu. I think that's what we look out for. But obviously, Coral, Mars, and Ziviello have been quick all year, so not going to count them out by any means. We'll have to see how things go. And obviously, once this qualifying session is done, we'll have a much better look at how things are going to be for that group. Definitely interesting to look at. Quite a good fight down in the bottom as well. Quite a few drivers are very close down there. We'll take a look at our full season standings now. Yeah, I've got it up on the screen for you. Looking down to the bottom, Spencer Brown is in 20th on 300 points, and then Jedi John has 413th, so that could flip around any instant. We've got 15th, Litwinski, 377, and then behind him, it's a free-for-all. It's Barahona on 330, Brown on 328, Duncan on 323, Easy Season on 304, and Spencer Brown on 300, so could have some close battling down there as well, and also the bottom half of the top 10 is close as well. They're all in the 400s, so definitely lots of battles going on here, but the battle for the actual season championship is starting to narrow itself a little bit. So we'll see how the storylines evolve today. As we'll take a look at Noah Nadu. He is the guy to watch here. As he doesn't have a time set yet, but he's purple through Sector 1. 97.162, so that's a minute and 37 seconds. 0.162 in the first sector. Looking to see if anybody has matched that yet. It doesn't appear that anybody has. I believe that is fastest overall, so we're not being lied to, except I think Timothy Matthew might have grabbed it as well, actually. He's got the quickest first sector. Yeah, we'll take a look at Red Hawk as well. See where he is on the list here.
797. 5th, showing from me.
Yep, 5th place is Red Hawk. And yeah, he is purple, 96.7. You're right, he's got a little bit of a slipstream there from the car up ahead.
Showing a pit request, though.
Oh, unfortunate. A lot of drivers showing pit requests, actually. Are they not going to be able to get a time in? This is going to be really interesting, then, to see how this plays out. As they are low on time.
Huh.
Very strange. Well, we'll see who decides to stay out. Maybe there's not enough... They didn't calculate the fuel enough? I'm not sure. Very interesting. Unfortunate, then, for a couple drivers if they're not going to put any time in at all. I don't know how they're going to decide the order. Maybe we'll...
It doesn't look like anybody is.
Maybe we'll restart the session and then simulate it and see what it says if we don't get anybody putting a time in. If we do have any drivers putting in a time, though, we'll have to keep it how it is and just see how it stacks up the rest of the order. That's very interesting, then, to look at. Let's see. Who's not pit requesting right now? We've got David Lakers looking to stay on track. Timothy Matthew as well. That's a guy to watch. Timothy Matthew, as he's in the top 10. We'll see if he's going to stay on time. What a beautiful view as well of the Eiffel Forest there. Lovely fall colors here. As we go on board now with Timothy Matthew, 97.085 through the first sector. See what his second sector time comes in as. So yeah, lots of teams seem to miscalculate their pit calculations, which is going to throw a big wrench into this. Very interesting. So purple through Sector 2, it says, for Timothy Matthew. We'll see if that ends up holding true. He is still remaining on track, it appears. No pit request in from him. Also, keep an eye on Alex Martin, Juno Maximovich. Got Josh Fobo as well. Not putting in a pit request quite yet. As the checkered flag will be out when they come around. This is their one chance to put in a lap. As Matthew's on a 5:19 right now. As he slithers it quite a bit coming up and over at the hill there, but he manages to hold on to the car there, something that's very hard to do. It takes a lot of talent to keep that car steered to the left while still going over a hump like that. So Matthew right now is the guy to watch. I think he is a candidate for pole position as it stands as he goes through the carousel. See how he rolls on through here. As here he is down at the main straight. We'll see who pits in and who stays out. As Matthew's going to get quite the tow from the car ahead. I believe that's Marcelo Mars in the Rocket Racing, giving Matthew a little more help along. We'll see what his time comes in as a few cars do duck into the pits. Here comes Matthew across the line here pretty soon. Pole position belongs to Josh Fobo with the Easy Season taking second, and Timothy Matthew does indeed take pole. Like we mentioned, a 6:45.5 is the time there, as Jafeth Barahona is indeed on a lap. He was able to get one in. Will Duncan as well will be happy about this one. Ziviello's into the pits. Duncan and Barahona are still out. We'll see if they're going to stay out or if they also... It looks like they also made their calculation mistakes, so... one that's not going to count for them. We've got another time coming in. I believe that's Alex Martin up in the fourth. Coral is also out right now, but he's pit requesting. Juno Maximovich might also be... Juno Maximovich is in the garage as well, so very interesting qualifying. Lots of mistakes made by the teams. Definitely one of the more interesting qualifying results, but I guess we're getting a randomized grid from about fourth on down. That'll make things really interesting, though. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen there. See how they just stay in the order they're in. That, or maybe they'll go by practice times. I guess we'll see. We'll see how they stack them. But here come the cars down at the final stretch. I believe David Lakers still has to... David Lakers is in the garage as well, so... although it's not showing on my timing, here comes Spencer Brown. Jedi John is also out there. He has a pit request, and so does Colin Fleabag. So we've got a top four that have put a time in, but otherwise not quite. So that is your qualifying result, I guess. So we'll hop into our race session here. We'll be back in just a minute, and we'll take you through our starting grid and get ready to go rolling in Formula Dream here. Don't go anywhere. So we're getting back into action here as we're on our formation lap. We'll take you through our starting grid for today's race here. A couple drivers got very lucky with things, so here is your starting order. Row 1 of the grid, Timothy Matthew in P1 with Josh Fobo starting off in second in the Blue Balls.
Starting third is Yeezy Season, followed by Alex Martin, starting fourth.
Row 3 of the grid is Carp in the Carpini, and then Coral starting 6th.
Starting seventh is Felice Ziviello, followed by Keenan Wynn, starting eighth.
Yep, and an interesting fact, they did base off practice times if they didn't set a qualifying time. So Red Hawk is 9th, Madison Brown is 10th.
11th is Mallory Fonte, and Steve Durham is 12th.
Coming home in the next row, Casey Lakatos, followed up by David Lakers in 14th.
Will Duncan, starting 15th, followed by Jafeth Barahona, starting 16th.
Yes, indeed. Then in 17th is Kyle Tupper. 18th position belongs to Noah Nadu.
19th is Hayden Segovis, followed by Marcelo Mars, starting 20th.
Trailing up on Mars is Juno Maximovic in the IEC, and Mihal Litwinski in 22nd.
23rd is James Brown, followed by Bot Brook, starting 24th.
Then 25th is Spencer Brown. 26th belongs to Jedi John.
And 27th is Connell Fleabag, bringing up the end of the pack.
So that is your starting order. Once again, the Blue Wells not having a great-looking day here at the Nordschleife. Very unfortunate to see for them, but Noah, who do you think takes this one?
Oof. I'd love to see Carp get a good finish.
That would be awesome.
The top three. But I think Alex Martin.
Yeah,
takes
Alex
a win
Martin
here.
is a good pick. That would be good for him in the standings. Also, Coral and Ziviello will be pretty happy with where they're at. No doubt about that. Noah Nadu, interestingly, is down in 18th, so he's got some climbing to do. That could make things really interesting here. The leader ends up towards the back. I don't know where Keelan Wynn is. He's in 8th also, so that's good for him there. Good to look at. But my prediction, I think, is Timothy Matthew. I think the rookie has lost his stride a little bit throughout the year. He's looking for a way to get it back, and what better chance do you have to get your stride back than a pole position start?
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that, so we'll see if he can claw his way back into the top of the order as they roll on through the circuit. What's the key to winning at a track like this, Noah?
Obviously, like in Formula Dream, you want to stay clean for the first bit here, because if you take damage and have to pit, your race is going to be over with the 5 laps. Good strategy. I don't know if the teams have been able to figure it out after qualifying. Hopefully they have. You don't want to mess that up here on a track like this.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, it's a dangerous track. They call it the Green Hell for a reason. One of the most dangerous tracks in the world, and the track is not super wide. It's nice and narrow. There's still plenty of room for overtaking. It's a plenty technical track as well, but one slip up and you're going to be in the wall and you're going to be done for the day. There's a lot of bad damage that you can get on your car with the pretty brutal guardrails that we've got here at the Nordschleife. The safety precautions, not quite what you have in a real Formula 1 race. It's not a grade 1 FIA circuit. So, yeah, definitely not going to be the easiest place to crash and keep your race going. So, yeah, keeping it on the asphalt is definitely the way to go here. But won't bore you anymore with the formation lap. Obviously, it's quite the long one, so we will get right back to you in just a second here with the start of the race from Formula Dream at the Nordschleife. Don't go anywhere. We've got a great one on our hands and should be a great way to start the final week of the season. So we will see you in just a second. Well, we are ready to get underway here as they roll on into turn number 1. Let's go racing at the Green Hell. Timothy Matthew gets off to a great start. Josh Fobo still in second, slots himself on in there. It's a good start as well for Yeezy Season. Him and Carp both moving up a little bit. Carp is up into 4th here. Yeezy Season looking for a chance to get up in the 2nd as well. He's pushing very, very hard there to try and get up a spot or two. So good start to the race. Josh Fobo able to hold on to 2nd. That would be big for Blue Balls. They're hoping he's going to stay there. We're too wide through the early portions of the circuit here. Many rows on back. Wow, as Noah, they're waiting for the good commentator, so they're asking when you're going to be here. And I think you are here, actually, aren't you?
I am here.
So good old Noah is here. As Timothy Matthew does lead us through the top 3, starting to separate themselves a little bit here. As the Nordschleife, another track where we don't get our sector data and our gap data until we get to the sector lines. So we're going to have to kind of eyeball things with the actual racing action here. So we'll go to the middle of the pack here as they're still very, very tight.
Only thing we get right now is like who's past who and the positions that are up. We don't really see what we need to see. But like you said, Juno, the reigning champ, in chat.
Yes, indeed. Looks like Madison Brown has sustained some damage already here. That's going to hold up this back half of the pack from 10th on down. We'll see if they're going to be able to claw past her anytime soon here.
And I did tell Madison Brown not to do that before the race. I said you do not want to get damage when they're early going. So
yeah, they were not listening. I don't think so. Josh Fobo has lost his position as well to Yeezy season. So the Carpinis definitely pretty happy with their start to the race as Fobo starting to hang back a little bit. This battle between Carp and Alex Martin is going to start to evolve into a very interesting one. Carp is right on his tail right now, and Martin maybe having a little bit of struggles getting the tires up to temperature here. Although he is able to pull out on the exit of the corner there. Only 5 laps here, so it's a very, not quick race, but again, you only see each corner 5 times. So, like I said, no time to really settle in and hit your stride. You've got to be locked in from the first second of this race. As the PCRs working together in 6th and 7th, that's Coral and Felicia Ziviello, as they'll try and push past Carp in any way they can. Timothy Matthew has pulled out to quite the gap. As of the first sector, he's got a second on Yeezy season. As I think the Nordschleife in rFactor 2, no, I don't know if you've noticed this, but this is one of the few tracks where you really see the sense of speed and how quick these cars are going. Some of the camera angles we get show you just how quick this track actually is.
I think this has been some of the best camera angles we've had all season, just the flowingness of it, and you really get a sense, like you said, for speed with the cars going around this track. Yeah,
great sense of speed, and it's a gorgeous track to boot. Huge track, so impressive to the makers of this circuit as well. My shout-outs to them. It actually runs really, really well. I know we've had some issues with some of the tracks not being optimized before, but runs like a dream, no pun intended, here in Formula Dream. As we go on board with our leader, Timothy Matthew, we'll take you through a little bit of his data here, see how quick they're going through the corners here at the Nordschleife. You see a nice little hot air balloon out there in the distance. Timothy Matthew wishing upon that hot air balloon that today is the day he's able to grab a win for him and his team. Would be good for IEC, would be good for him as well. The rookie we mentioned, as he hits 10,000 RPMs there down the straight, has had a bit of a lapse in the second half of the season. He had the lead for a while, but he's definitely not ready to give it up just yet. As we talk about reigning champion Juno Maksimovic, we'll go on board
Great start
there with her, down in 25th. Definitely not a great start.
with a pit request.
Interesting, there is a pit request. I can't tell. It looks like she might be missing the front wing here. So, yeah, good catch on that, Noah, actually. We've got a couple pit requests, a couple damaged cars. Madison Brown is one. We've got Juno Maksimovic as well. It appears Spencer Brown, he started well, but he's got an issue with his car as well, which is also a missing front wing. So it seems like that's becoming pretty common here, the old missing front wing.
Always nice to be missing your front wing.
Yeah, it's always great.
A track like this.
Yeah, definitely a technical track where you need as much aero as you can, especially in these old cars. Definitely not the kind of error you want to have early on in a race like this. So the top 3, still Matthew, Yeezy Season, and Josh Fobo, but Alex Martin starting to mount his charge a little bit here as he's in P4. Josh Fobo going to have to try and fend him off here. This would be a big race for Josh Fobo as Coral, Felice Ziviello, Carp, and Mallory Fonte really going at it here as running wide there is, I believe, that was one of the... who was that actually in the white helmet? That might have been Carp.
On the 7. Yeah,
it was Carp running wide there as sometimes I mix up the PCRs and the Carpinis, but Carp was able to slot right back in front of Mallory Fonte. Michal Litwinski appears to have had an issue here as it's side by side with Casey Lakatos. That's all we saw. Let's see what actually happened here. We got a notification that he was going low speed, so let's see what happened with Michal here. As, oh yeah, he runs wide, spins in front, big spin for Michal Litwinski, and collects a couple cars. Lucky to not bring out the yellow there, as Casey Lakatos managed to avoid any major damage, but that's going to hurt Litwinski quite a bit in the grand scheme of things, as we're once again close up in the top. Look how much they've bunched up here. Alex Martin has gotten past Josh Fobo. Josh Fobo, I think, has had an issue. He's down in 15th here. Let's take a look
Not
at what
what
happened to
Josh
Josh
Fobo
Fobo. He
wanted.
definitely had some kind of problem here. I think we've got a couple cars having issues here. It might be that jump that's giving them some trouble there. As here's Fobo as... No, that's still on track there. As it is the jump, he can't hold on to the car. That's a huge impact from Josh Fobo! Oh, a massive crash for Fobo, and a lot of cars can't really hold it. Luckily, they're able to keep it going, but I don't think Josh Fobo's going to be able to continue on. Let's see another angle of that. That was a ruthless impact from Josh Fobo. As he comes up over the jump here, it looks unassuming until you actually get to it, and oh, that is an extremely hard lick from Josh Fobo. Let's see that one again.
Oh my gosh.
That was large.
In the fence.
Let's see another trackside angle on this one. Fobo runs wide, goes up and over. And, oh man, that is a hard lick. Right in behind him was Coral as well. And I think we lost David Lakers, too, to the same kind of spin.
Wow.
Keelan Wynn almost gets clipped there by Coral on the get back, so that's not what they're going to want, as Josh Fobo might have had an issue getting into the pits here. Well, it looks like his car might have failed on him here coming into pit road. As we're
Might see a
on
DNF
board
for
with
one of the
him. Yeah, as the luck is just not there for the Blue Balls cars, ever, really. But unless that's just where his pit stall is. That might just be... Yeah, that is just where his pit stall is, actually. Interesting. So the only thing really now that can save Josh Fobo would be a safety car, as Timothy Matthew is going to be way ahead now, because Martin is still fending off all these cars. Matthew down the road is having a nice Sunday drive here at the Nordschleife. He won't be complaining about that. The rookie out to a very strong lead there as they come hopping over yet another one of the little bunny hills. This track has quite a few of those, but with the amount of horsepower these cars have under them, you have to be careful going up and over those uneven surfaces. Josh Fobo was not, and we saw what happened to him there.
Very easy to do if you're not paying enough attention.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the slight left turn there. You're turning the wheel a little bit. You're going to land with your wheels not square with the track, and you are going to go flying off the track, as we saw. And man, that was a really hard lick for Josh Fobo. Hopefully he's all right. He appears to be still going, but going to have to put him in concussion protocol after this one, probably.
No, most definitely.
As they fly on through once again. We've got a pretty tight race from second on down in the top 10. Alex Martin still fending off some cars buzzing on behind. It's Martin, Yeezy Season, Ziviello, and Carp, second through fifth. Obviously, Matthews still in the lead here. But going to be interesting to keep an eye on this battle as it continues to evolve.
We got to ask for some Ziviello on board, if that was if possible.
Take a look at some Ziviello on board indeed in P4. Your wish is my command. Here we are on board with the Manscaped Ferrari, Felice Ziviello. P4 in that PCR.
Blue Ferrari that Ferrari's going to be running.
Oh, I love it. Have they released the actual livery yet?
I think yeah. Hold on, I'll send you a DM. I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, it brings me joy. I know this PCR Ferrari was modeled after the old white and navy blue Ferrari F1 car that they ran in the 60s, so brought me a lot of joy making that paint. As we hear the beautiful hum of this Ferrari engine. As we mentioned earlier in the season, the PCR, the only car running the Ferrari engine, everybody else running the Ford Cosworth, but it does have a certain sound to it. This PCR will give you a nice little engine sound break here. As this has been your Ferrari-sponsored engine break here with Felice Ziviello. As he's battling hard with the Yeezy Season right ahead. This PCR has had quite a bit of kick to it all season. They've been great in the second half of the season especially. They've really found their mark. A former champion really starting to perform like a champion once again. Always good to see, but still a lot of time left in the season, so it's still make or break time for the PCRs. They've got some ground to make up to the Shreve Hearts and Central United's up ahead, which, as of now, shouldn't be a huge issue on the Central United front. Their best driver right now is Kyle Tupper, who is quite a bit down in the order, I might add. He's down in 15th. Noah Nadeau's in 16th, and James Brown is running 19th. Although Alex Martin is in second, So that is a problem for PCR. They're going to need to contain that with Mallory Fonte in 7th as well. And Keelan Wynn in 11th. They're doing very well. As running a little wide there with Felicia Ziviello. Didn't quite nail the carousel.
Not at all.
That's something I was going to mention in qualifying as well if I would have gotten the chance. If you go up high on the carousel there and don't hit it properly, you're going to lose 0.5 of a second just about. Ziviello holds on to 6th. Jafet Barahona up into 5th. Got that position from Ziviello. I believe Karp got past him as well. So still got that battle with Martin up there. Jafet Barahona is on a heater right now, right in behind Karp. Trying to scratch and claw past the Carpini. They're trying to find any bit of space. He's got the pace. Just doesn't quite have the opening just yet. But they're side by side now, and Barahona's going to have the inside here. And P4 it is for Jafet Barahona. He's getting a push here as well from Felicia Ziviello, who's diving down the inside. It's a double overtake from Ziviello. He's side by side here with Barahona. He was able to force it too wide for just a second. He almost chucked it past 2 cars in one corner. So Ziviello makes a mistake in the carousel and decides, you know what, I'm coming back. So a great move there from Felicia Ziviello.
Much needed.
Definitely much needed for him, no doubt. He's still a guy to keep an eye on for the title charge, especially with Nadu not doing well. I got a big spin up ahead. Ziviello spinning as well. There's trouble once again here. And there's a big contact. And that is surely going to bring out the yellow. Maybe it's not going to bring out the yellow.
No,
a huge spin.
Wow.
A huge, huge spin. And it was Felicia Ziviello coming up and over and loses control into the wall, taking out the Carpini behind, and Steve Durham collected as well.
That might have been on us.
Yeah, we might have jinxed Ziviello there. Ziviello maintaining 8th position, though. The good news is you have to make a pit stop anyway in this race. Hopefully that won't set Ziviello back too much. They can probably fix that front wing while they're putting fuel in the car. Hopefully they can get him fueled to the end then, because like I said, you do need a pit stop in this race. Maybe he'll be all right after that one. He's got not much of the lap left, so at least he's going to be in decent shape to the end here. But he's fallen down to 9th, which Ziviello has. Timothy Matthew with the quickest lap of 6:37.963 as Ziviello ducks into the pits here. Luckily, a Shrevehart was taken with him. That is
Alex
the main
Martin
competition. Alex Martin
Rolling.
does snatch the fastest lap. And I believe Coral snatched it from him afterwards. Or no, that's best first sector. I apologize. It is Alex Martin with the best lap overall. Timothy Matthew kind of on his Sunday drive right now.
Oh, Mark took it now. Taking by Noah Nadu.
Indeed, so yeah, a couple new laps coming on in. Those 10 points will be crucial for Nadu up at the top of the standings. As there's still a yellow in Sector 3, I believe Josh Fobo might have had another issue. As Casey Lakatos was involved as well in some issues. He's going to need a new front wing too. Josh Fobo crashed as well, as that corner has been deadly. It's almost like there's an oil slick. As what about Kyle Tupper? He was in the pits. As you see on with Kyle Tupper there. He was just getting his pit co right next to his teammate.
Yeah, James Brown getting a new front wing.
Yep, so Tupper comes out, and I think the best thing that can happen now for the cars that have crashed would be a safety car. Although we do have a lot of pit requests coming in. Yeezy Season is one already. He's going to come in at the end of this lap and fuel up, as Felicia Ziviello makes a good point. He says that might play into his hands with that early wreck. We'll see where he came out after his stop. He is down in 17th. Obviously has his new front wing. As far as drivers that have stopped, though, that would throw him into 2nd. So I'm not sure where he would mesh in with drivers like Matthew and Martin. We'll have to see as time rolls on with that. We'll probably get a bit of a gauge with the Easy Season to see where they're going to collaborate back onto the racetrack. Also, tires are an issue here at the Nürburgring. You get a lot of tire wear here, even though it is a little bit cooler outside than usual.
Maybe, do you think we might be able to see someone stretch it?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Everybody stopped midway through the race last time. I think we had some stoppers on the last lap as well. I mean, I guess we'll see. It's more power to you if you're able to do that, but I don't think there's enough fuel in these cars to do that. But time will tell. As Keelan
I
Wynn
think
will be
you're,
happy right now.
Looking pretty good for these Civiola. I think you're looking pretty good for at least the top 5.
Yeah, I think Saviola's in a good spot still. I don't think... I don't know about top 5. Definitely a top 10, I think he'll cycle out to get that. He's lucky it wasn't a huge impact with the wall. It's still pretty hefty, but they were able to get that car fixed, seemingly. Hefty. Not sponsored, though. As we go on board here with Felice, it appears that car is driving fine. The big thing is the suspension is still on straight. You see the wheel still pointing in the right direction. Yes, if it's going to rain. No rain in the forecast right now. I believe there's a small chance, but I don't think it should happen. We did have overcast weather predicted, but no rain as far as I know. So that would be quite the wrench thrown into this race, but I don't think there's any chance of that occurring. As Carp and Will Duncan are both pit requesting as well. Still monitoring my monitor to see if anybody else is going to be coming in too anytime soon. As Martin had a lot of cars trailing him earlier on, but they have kind of trailed off a little bit. Jafet Barahona finds his way into third in that MMM. Yeezy Season and Red Hawk in the Carpinis will be happy with where they're at. 4th and 5th. So we've got Jafet Barahona up 13 spots from the start here. That is our driver of the day candidate as it stands. Hopefully I don't jinx him as well.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good at jinxing Brad.
Yeah, we are doing pretty good at that. We do pretty well at that pretty much every race, though, it seems. This lovely line through the carousel there for Jafet. Still 3 to go, coming up on 2 to go. As you look at the tires of Jafet Barahona as he rolls through there, I just can't imagine this is going to be a race that you can stretch to the end on those tires, especially with the jumps you got to go over. We've seen all the issues we've had. Worn tires are only going to make that worse. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how they decide to play this one, but I can't imagine you stretch this all the way to the end. Even if the tires aren't an issue to you, I don't think you have enough fuel in that tank.
Unless you're Casey Lacatas.
Unless you are Casey Lacatas, he can stretch it. Unfortunately, he's lost his front wing twice now, so even if he did stretch it, I'm not sure he'd be in a great position.
No, I don't think so, unfortunately.
No, definitely not. As Alex Martin at least has Timothy Matthew in sight. He hasn't completely disappeared yet. But I think it would be a pretty happy outcome for everybody if Timothy Matthew were able to hold on to this one all the way. See how big of a twitch that is over that hill. It's just insane. Usually you can survive it pretty well as long as you're not racing directly with anybody, but if you're side by side pushing hard with somebody, it's very tough. You see how much that car wants to step out going over there. We'll go on board for this time through as well with Carp. See, you run a little bit wide into the grass there. And you just got to hold on to it. Huge snap of oversteer every time through there. Incredible job by the drivers to keep it clean. A couple more pit requests filtering in. Alex Martin's going to go in. We've got Yeezy Season as well. Keelan Wynn, as the entire top 6, with the exception of Timothy Matthew, are going to go for it here. As that jump is beautiful, Felix. I agree with you. As Bob Brook, it appears, has had an issue going over the jump, I would have to guess. Let's see what happened there. I could give you a pretty good guess of what happened. And there it is. Luckily, was able to keep it out of the wall. Just a nice little 360. Actually, pretty good save by Bob Brook. I got to give credit where it's due. As Timothy Matthew decides not to pit just yet. We'll see how that plays out. The entire top 10, it appears, is going to stop here. The entire top, almost everybody, actually, is going to stop here. So let's take a look at Ziviello. We're interested to see where he comes out. So nobody out of the pits just yet. Except, oh, is that Ziviello missing a front wing? I don't know what happened to Ziviello, but I don't see his front wing attached. That could be... Yeah, we might have jinxed him again, Noah.
I think he's in pits again, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good. So the best thing Felice can wish for now is a safety car. Don't know if that's very realistic to happen, though. So they're pretty conservative with calling them, even when there are issues over that jump, but definitely going to keep an eye on the pit strategy here. could play out very nicely for Steve Durham as he rolls on past the pits, up into 9th now.
Played out pretty nicely if he needed to, getting to the top 10.
Yes, indeed. Mallory Fonte quickest on track here. Timothy Matthew and Marcel Amars are both going to pit at the end of this lap, so we'll see if... It is not a visual glitch, Felix. You did pit, unfortunately. So we'll have a quick moment of silence for Felicia Ziviello's race here.
Yeah, it is over. He is down in 21st.
Thank you for observing that moment of silence. Marcel Amars up in the 2nd is interesting. He's a while behind Timothy Matthew, I believe. We'll have to see how that plays out for Mars. Probably not going to be very well because he's got drivers somewhat close.
No, is Timothy Matthew far enough ahead where he's going to be able to get in pits and out?
That's what's going to be interesting because he has been leading this whole race, but I wonder if going this last lap on the exhausted tires is going to hurt him. His first sector was 137.4. Almost everybody else on track was doing 136s. So that is very interesting. The old tires probably slowing him down a little bit. We'll see where everybody else gets thrown in. It's Alex Martin that is the driver to watch. He had a good stop with that crew. Jafet Barahona also had a very good stop. He was a little bit behind Alex Martin, but the stop was able to get him close once again. So some good pit stop action from that crew in the MMM uniforms. Easy season as well in 5th. We'll be happy with where he's at. Mallory Fonte in 6th. Also having a pretty solid race. So things are going to get shaken up a little bit here. The Rocket Racing and Marcelo Mars definitely smelling a little bit of a chance to get back up to the top of the driver standings. Noah Nadu is in 10th. So as of now, won't be scoring huge points, so that could make that battle very close. We'll have to take a look after the race, see how close that one gets, but as it stands right now, Mars would be pretty close to gaining the lead. But again, he does have to stop again, so we'll see how that plays out.
Him if he falls, yeah, with this pit stop.
Yeah, we'll see where that throws him back out then. He's got to make it there first on those very worn-out tires to boot. We're only halfway through the lap here, and Timothy Matthew has quite the advantage up ahead.
Our driver of the day right now is Barahona.
Indeed. Barahona's had a great race. Up 8 spots from the start. Could very well end up with a podium here. Assuming Marcelo Mars's crew did not do a line of coke before the race.
It shows me by Barahona being up 12.
It is up 12. I can't read. Marcelo Mars, then, in 18th, is the highest driver up. But yeah, like you said, he's pitting, so I must have read that one first. But yeah, 12 spots for Barahona. Still a great race. He started down in 16th, all the way up to 4th. He's had not the greatest of seasons. He transferred from IEC to MMM, so he's really going to be wanting to prove himself with that team. As this MMM squad is down in 6th, but they're not out of the race with IEC. They're only 93 points behind them, so this could be a good chance for them to try and gain some points, but Timothy Matthew is going to deny them a lot of that with that first place finish that he is most likely going to come home with. As for the rest of their teams as well, not really a factor on either side. We've got Michal Litwinski and Maximovich in 16th and 17th, and then Madison Brown and who is the other MM? Hayden Segovas as well. Madison Brown and Hayden Segovas. Hayden Segovas is 15th. Madison Brown is somewhere.
Madison Brown is somewhere, indeed somewhere.
Down in 23rd. So yeah, not it's kind of just a 1v1 battle then for IEC and MMM. It's Matthew versus Barahona. Right now it looks like Matthew is going to have the advantage in that one, but we will see. Got some interesting battles throughout the track here. Red Hawk and Steve Durham not too far from each other here. Steve Durham trying to hold on to the lead, but Red Hawk is closing in. Still a lot that can happen, too. That jump has claimed a lot of victims today. That still could claim another one and completely throw a wrench into our top 10. Or even the race lead. You hope that that wouldn't happen to Timothy Matthew. He's been too solid, you would think, to see something like that occur. But
not a good time.
Not only would it be devastating for him, it would be devastating for IEC. As he rolls on through there, you see he was very careful rolling through at that time, so didn't really give that any chance to catch him out. Didn't want to murder his tires too much. Here comes Marcelo Mars. Appears he's made it through the test just fine as well. As we'll see how the pit crews can get to work here. So here comes the big jump for Marcelo Mars. Yeah, once again, not carrying a whole lot of speed through there, just being careful at this stage of the race.
Smart thing to do.
Yeah, here come Martin and Barahona as well, both going to get through unscathed. Yeezy Season going to slide on through next, followed by Mallory Fonte. As Yeezy... Oh, Yeezy's going to hit the wall, and Fonte is twitching. Fonte's going to throw it in the wall, too! The number 4 Shrevehart and Yeezy Season, both with an issue here. As... Oh, there's carnage as well! It's Red Hawk into the wall! As Nadu's able to hold on to it, but now they're slowed down here in the middle of the circuit. No yellow coming out, though. Shockingly there. As... Oh, man, they just can't get through. As, oh, Miholowinski collected! We're going to have a pile up here in the corner. Shockingly, they're still going to let each other sort things out. I've seen safety cars called there before. It's not like they don't exist. But they're being very conservative with how they're going to call them. And we somehow get through that with no full course yellow. What carnage.
Yeah, it looks like Century United was in the wall. There's a few cars in the wall there, too, with Mihal. That was crazy.
It was crazy. So Alex Martin is up ahead of Timothy Matthew. Matthew didn't have a great stop at all. So Martin and Barahona now.
20 seconds or so.
Yeah, Barahona and Martin are up there. Barahona got first from Martin at some point as well. And now they're safe. We've got 1 lap to go. Safety car cannot affect them at this point. So Mallory Fonte in 6th, missing a front wing there. As our top 5 or 6 or 7 or so. Is Fonte gonna try and finish this with no front wing?
I think so.
That's a bold call. It does appear that Fonte is gonna try and go front wingless to the end of this race. That might be a good call, actually, for Fonte. We'll see how that plays out for her. As
yeah, she has 8 seconds on Nadu, so doesn't really have to worry about someone coming at her from the back. Really just
pause. Anyway.
in your position.
Pause. Anyway. Too soon, no. As Barahona leading the German Grand Prix. Not what we expected, also. Timothy Matthew looked like he had a very healthy lead, but Barahona was able to cut it down to almost nothing. Timothy Matthew now on fresh tires, I might add. That might play a little bit of an effect as Felice Ziviello has packed it in. He's going to DNF from this race. As, it was almost a good... Did you say womp womp? Generational hating there from Noah Nadu in the commentary booth.
Aria's going to have Travis.
You going to finish that thought?
Nope.
Okay. Fair enough.
We didn't say anything about it yet.
Once again, we see a wingless Fonte here. Taveth Barahona is lighting up the track. He was 7/10 faster than Alex Martin behind through Sector 1. Barahona is absolutely flying with this lead here. It still could be a last lap battle between Martin and Barahona. And once again, this has all of a sudden become a great race for the MMM team. We were mentioning it was them versus IEC, but they have definitely capitalized on these issues. Will Duncan has also capitalized by keeping things clean. He's up into 8th now. Got a chance to get past Noah Nadu as well, and I imagine a couple drivers are probably hoping that Duncan gets past Nadu, just to keep the standings that much more close. I'm still shocked that Fonte is going with no front wing. I've never seen the rFactor AI decide not to pit after losing a front wing, and Fonte is starting to lose it, actually. Fonte is losing this battle to Noah Nadu very rapidly here. We'll see if she can hold him off for a while.
She was up
but
8 seconds.
Yeah, it's...
I started this lap. And, yeah.
This is not a track that I would want to go front wingless. It's Fonte side by side now with Will Duncan, going to drop down to 8th.
She'll still probably lose less positions this way than she would have hit.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It's probably very true. David Laker's looking to get on through as well. Fonte does have less drag on the front end of that car, but you see just how much earlier she has to brake there. Her teammate Keelan Wynn going to roll on past as well. I would assume it's Jedi John has an issue. Looks like he blew up his engine. Not like he was having a great... He blew up his engine and he's got no front wing.
That's Jedi John for you.
Standard day out for Jedi John. Have some fun, turn some slow laps, blow up. He actually finished P3 a couple of races ago. Gotta give credit where it's due. He did have a solid race that time out. So Fonte is actually keeping her teammate Keelan Wynn behind, as this is not going to go over well in the Shrevehart garage afterwards, I don't think. This is interesting decision by the team in pink here. But Fonte is holding up Keelan Wynn, giving Hayden Segovis, an MMM driver, a chance to crack the top 10. Very interesting stuff there. Is our battle for the lead. Here's Jafeth Barahona, still ahead of Alex Martin by a pretty comfortable margin here. We've got a few drivers also missing wings here. What was that?
Timothy Matthew in P3 is not that bad, but damn, that pit stop really messed him up.
Yeah, that was not a great stop, it appears, for the IEC team, as Red Hawk now under some fire from Marcelo Mars in behind. Another driver missing a front wing. Red Hawk is, so moving on through there is Mars as they head on to the carousel now. Ooh, running out wide there is Yeezy Season. Not really under any threat from the drivers in behind just yet.
Barahona's going to be happy to take the driver of the day, at least away from Nadu.
Yes, that's also true. Driver of the day and, knock on wood, probably a race win here, as they've still got the test as the sun starts to come out, so track probably heating up a little bit. They've still got to get through the jump here. So that is the big challenge here. As Barahona runs on through, he's getting close to the end of the race, and Barahona loses it! Barahona's in the wall! Alex Martin leads! Alex Martin leads! Barahona crashes out! And Timothy Matthew crashes! Timothy Matthew's into the wall as well, and he's able to get it set straight once again. It is now Martin, Matthew, and Barahona. Oh my, and we've got a pile up. Coral and Steve Durham are stacked up. Here comes Nadu slamming into Coral. And it's a pile up once again. Will Duncan gets hit. Everybody trying to get on the brakes. Keelan Wynn could benefit from this. And welcome to the shit show, as we've got P1 for Alex Martin. He is coming home alone to win this race.
Wow, what a weird finish.
Nobody anywhere near it. This track always provides some chaos. We had Keelan Wynn crashing on the last lap to give a win to Jedi John a couple seasons ago. We've got another last lap crash for Jafeth Barahona to throw it away here. The Nordschleife of this year. Alex Martin wins officially now. Timothy Matthew comes under the bridge and will come home second. This battle is going to be very interesting, though. Down the final straight, we've got this pack of cars. Nadu missing a front wing. He's gotten up to 6th, though, which is huge for him and his title hopes. David Lakers, though, is pulling out alongside him now. This is interesting stuff. Nadu with no front wing. Nobody can get on by. Keelan Wynn getting held up as well. Nadu trying to hold Lakers behind. It's going to be neck and neck coming up to the bridge, but Lakers can't get out there quick enough. Now Coral and Hayden Segovis are side by side. Let's see who gets ahead in this one. They are wing to wing. It looks like Coral is going to stay ahead, and Coral beats Hayden Segovis. Hayden Segovis captures the top 10 there, as Red Hawk and Bot Brook are side by side. Nadu did beat Duncan to the line. 5th and 6th there for them. Nadu ends up 5th. That is a great result for him. And oh my, the carnage, the catastrophe at the end of the race. Timothy Matthew is definitely pumping his fist after that one, because he had a bad pit stop and for all intents and purposes should have been down and out, and ended up with P2. Brilliance from Timothy Matthew. You still have to tip your cap. It's a fantastic drive from him from start to finish anyway. His pit crew is where things went a little bit wrong, but also a great win for Alex Martin and Shrevehart. Good for them. Man, what a day, Noah.
That was, wow. That was pretty insane.
That was insane. So Alex Martin still goes to Barahona, right? Yeah, Alex Martin was in 7th. Barahona's still going to take home the Driver of the Day award. Alex Martin was in 7th in the driver's standings. He's going to get 100 points for that one, as that could move him up to P2, depending on how everybody else does. But man, that really makes things quite the interesting race now to the finish in Formula Dream. That's going to throw a wrench in the standings, and we're going to have an absolute hodgepodge of cars coming into these final 3 races. So, Noah, final thoughts?
That was ended up being an interesting one. It was fun. We kind of expected that jump really played in a lot of interesting strategy. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can tell the jump is going to become a term that strikes fear into Formula Dream drivers for years to come. As clearly it's not going anywhere. If we come back to the Nordschleife next season, it's still going to be there. And it's still going to ruin some hearts. Maybe they'll learn that they might have to back off a little bit there next time. But oh man, what a race we had today, and it just never stopped. This track always provides an interesting finish. We were neck and neck in Season 2. We had Keelan Wynn crashing on the last corner in Season 1. And Keelan Wynn's teammate, Alex Martin, finally makes good at the Nordschleife for Shreveport. So we'll get the standings out to you pretty soon. If you guys are available to get on iRacing, we've got a community race coming up as well in just a couple of minutes. So not going anywhere here at Central United, but we are signing off for now from Formula Dream. I've been Kyle Tupper. Alongside me is Noah Nadu, and we appreciate your patronage, as always, at Formula Dream. We will see you guys in the next one. So take care, and we will see you guys soon.
Make major moves, still the same ones that I came with. Up in a payment, told you we nothing to play with. Guess some things unchangeable. Me and my thirst insatiable. Till we all big time. Face on my rollie on big time. Facing my goals, that's a big climb. Still my flow is unshakable. Run it up, I cannot quit it. I need it, I ain't where I wanna be. I can admit it. Never submitting, I'm fighting my darkest of thoughts. I am a force. I harbor the light that's inside of my heart. I write in my art and give you my story. You the witness. I came on a mission to give you my pain and give you my glory. This time, I'm on the grind. Oh, I'm shining. Nothing can stop me. All these years, blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm still here. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. It's gonna be a riot, doubt me it's quiet. I got the can of gas, I'm about to ignite. I am driven, I won't ever get tired, cause I've been left behind, I had to get right. Waiting on the sign, now I just wait on myself. Got nothing weighing on the mind. One thing I learned after all this time, the mountain you carry meant for you to climb. All this time, I'm on the grind. Oh, I'm shining, nothing can stop me. All these years, blood, sweat, and tears, but I'm still here. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up. Nothing can stop me. Run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up, run it up.
Where the girls at? What's up, fellas? We out here. Why does Carlos hate me?
What? I just joined.
Oh my god, he's here.
Why did you say that?
Hi, Papa, because you hate me.
I hate you?
Yeah, you've been ignoring me for like the last 10 minutes.
I was cleaning the bathroom.
I was cleaning the bathroom. Shut up.
Or you want digital proof?